My name is Wendy and I'm a compulsive overeater. And thank you for inviting me to share this morning. I have shared in Early Bird during my first year. I've now been in the fellowship for 4 years. So it's nice to do it again, see what changes. I'm sure there will be, and we'll see what comes out, what I say. And hopefully this time I won't be as nervous. So yeah, I'm just going to pause and then have a little think and go ahead. So I'm going to think back to when I first started overeating, and that would be as a child. From a very young child, toddler, school age, definitely overeating, turning to food for everything really, and being allowed to have it. I do remember having meals, yeah, but also snacks and things anytime I wanted. And that was a normal way of eating. But when I became secondary school, I didn't like where I looked. I didn't like how I was eating, I guess, yeah. But mainly how I looked. And I went to many lengths to control my weight, try different diets, drastic, restricting, exercise, fad diets, expensive diets, buying supplements, all kinds of things. I remember reading a magazine and thinking, oh, yeah, that getting recipes out of there and boiling some vegetables and having it with some meat, and it was bland and tasteless, and then I would get cravings to have sweet stuff after meals, and I used to have that sweet stuff and then go and throw it up because I'd learned that was a way to get rid of it. Yeah, so there was everything in my story. From restricting to bulimia, so much. And I shared this last time, if you do remember my share, that I actually blocked the bathroom drain with my vomit. There was so much of it. And that is sick, in many ways. And I panicked and I thought, oh my God, it's coming out the drain like an eruption. And I've got a spade and I've buried it in the garden soil that was near the drain. I thought it's the only way I can get rid of it. No one can see this. And I was ashamed, deeply ashamed of that. But it was my way of getting rid of food. And Sunday papers used to have all kinds of things in that you could send for, and I remember sending for this thermodynamics or something like that it was called, and it came in a brown paper package, a booklet to follow this plan that I didn't even understand, but I paid quite a few pounds for this. Didn't lose many pounds, but spent them. Slimming tablets from the doctors because my mum was on them, my sister was on them, and I thought, well, I should be on them. It was that learned behaviour in that environment of overeating, but not liking the result. That was when I was 15. I wasn't even old enough to go to the doctors on my own, but I managed it and got these tablets. Yeah, and then, of course, that was an erratic way of living. They were called Apisate and made me very erratic, and yeah, I couldn't sleep. Someone's described them as speed, and they're no longer on the market. And thank goodness, I didn't want anyone else to suffer in that way. What did that lead on to? Oh, still many unhappy years, but then diet clubs. Yeah, I joined a diet club with my sister, and I got hooked on that. Yeah, and I went to it for 12 years in a well-known diet club. My sister dropped out, wasn't for her, but I got to I got to a target member, and I was collecting these key rings on my key ring every year, all stars. And I wasn't sold in a comfortable, happy way. Still wanted more, you know. And I got a bit fed up with that one, so I went to the other slimming club. I joined that one for a fresh start. Oh my word. Yeah, and they said I could have as much of this free stuff as I wanted, lots of free foods and things that you had to limit and sin and things like that you may recall yourselves. And well, that was just crazy way to eat. But I did that for many years. Then fast forwarding, lockdown happened, and I spoke to my friend on the phone, and she said that she wasn't doing our usual WhatsApp chat in the evening. She was going to an OA meeting online, an Overeaters Anonymous meeting online on Zoom. And I thought, oh gosh. And I said to her, that could be one for me, Debs. And it wasn't taken serious, but I was serious. And I asked her again, and she sent me a link. And it was a Sunday. So this was a Wednesday, and the Sunday night, I joined an OA meeting the first time ever in that lockdown period 4+ years ago. And I liked it. At first, as I joined, there was chat and laughter and what have you, and I was thinking, like, they're having a joke and stuff. And anyway, then the meeting got going, and there was lots of serious readings and what have you that seemed to be for quite a while. And then people started sharing, and they were sharing my thoughts, my feelings, my actions. They were sharing things that I'd done, that I do. And yeah, I was hooked. I wanted what they had. So in order to do that, I had to do what they did. And that was suggested. Get to many meetings, 6 different ones, and follow suggestions. Get some telephone numbers, join some WhatsApp groups, the connections. Didn't do that at first, but I tried the 6 different meetings, and Early Bird was one of them. And I like this one. I like the early starts. Get me a meeting in, usually in private. Although last night my partner said he was going to work from home today, just like that, out of the blue, and I thought, no, it's okay. Pause on this. Got my higher powers got me. You know, it will be fine. I will have my time, the door shut, and my space. He's downstairs working. And he knows I'm on a meeting because he knows I do a meeting every morning. So here I am, sharing my experience, strength, and hope what it was like, what happened. What happened is I went to OA and what it's like now. So what it's like now is a life changer. In the beginning, in OA, I was like a sponge, soaking it up and sending the leaflets. I got some physical leaflets in the post, and one of them was called Dignity of Choice. And now that's called A New Plan of Eating. And I studied that leaflet from back to front, page, highlighted things, learned a lot about food, learned how to eat. I learned how to eat 3 meals a day because when that was suggested, I thought, 3 meals a day, is that all? You know, mine was a continuous meal. My food behaviours were erratic. You know, I would come in the front door and go straight in the kitchen to the food, to my comfort, to my ease. And now, food behaviours, I come in the front door, I might go in the kitchen to dump my stuff or switch the kettle on or get a drink. And I go upstairs. I shared this with a fellow, a newcomer, at a live meeting last night. I go upstairs, my new behaviours, and they have been for a while. I run a bath. And wash the day off. And then I'll have my meal, my drink, settle down, and watch a bit of TV if I'm not going out. And that is my way. Whereas I usually have this massive craving in the evening, almost like a tapeworm being inside me, of having to have something else after something else after something else until I felt stuff and then enough. And then the next day I think, right, healthy breakfast, smaller breakfast. No, smaller breakfasts don't work for me. Nourishing breakfast do. Nourishing breakfast with all I need in it that was in that leaflet that taught me. So no longer am I having that small breakfast, then snacks in between mid-morning, and then a small lunch because I thought, oh, I've already been eating. And then I'd be hungry again in the afternoon, and then tea would be messed up. Shouldn't have as much because I've eaten lots today. And then that evening craving. Crazy. Meal plans today. Knowing the foods that nourish my body, feed
That's
me
it.
well.
It's Wendy.
Thank you. These are my new habits. Keeping well. 3 nourishing meals a day. For me, a fruit snack if I need in between. And that works, you know. It came up recently. Someone offered me something else, and I just said I don't eat that kind of thing anymore. You know, it's like, oh, there's a reason for that. You know why? And I said, I just find it a better way of living. You know, I eat my 3 meals a day. I have fruit in between if I need. And for me, it's just a better way of living. And that was the best way to describe it. So yeah, and the ongoing actions are everything that's here. You know, this device sends me to everything, to all my connections. Yeah, my big book that lives down the side of my bed, my meditation on the CD player in front of me, my higher power that's here all the time. Page 86 in the big book. Any sponsees that are on here, they will know I'm almost like a preacher on page 86. It's on awakening. It's on retiring. It's my guide. It's my life. And that's another song, isn't it? But it is. It's my life. It's a better life. And I share it with all you people. And that's wonderful. So thank you for listening. And I'll leave it there.